Okay, hi guys. It says I'm live, so here I am. Let me get it set up on my chat computer, and we'll start talking. Alright, if you're watching on YouTube, the recording, just scrub forward until something starts happening. We'll give people a few minutes to come on in here. Okay, looks good. Everything looks good to me. Let's see the chat. Come on. Sometimes it seems so slow. Alright. Let's look how much leg we've got here. Hi, Mindy. My book is already overflowing. Ugh. Alright. There's quite a bit of leg. A little surprised, but oh well. It'll be fine. I'm sure people will start streaming in here momentarily. Hi, Almaris. I'm really just sitting here waiting for people right now, so scrub on forward. Oh, I need to move that other computer so I can see. I don't know. What the heck? Hey, CB. Let me turn this computer so I can actually see. There seems to be quite a lag. I'm surprised. It's got to go all the way to Bartlesville and back here. Hey, Kat. Hi, Patio. All right, let's see. That looks better on my end. So how you guys doing this morning? Dee Dee had a good stream. Hi, Joy. Hi, Sherry Ann. I hope I'm saying that right. Sherry Ann. Yeah, Sherry Ann. Hi, Sarah. All right, we got some peeps coming in here. Hi, Carol. Kind of gloomy here in Oklahoma today, huh, Carol? It is gloomy. Just gray and gloomy. Hi, Starla. Linda. I'm going to watercolor today, but I'll show you a couple pages that I've done in the scavenger hunt book. I don't think I'm halfway yet. There's my chain. I just haven't figured out what I'm going to do with it yet. Yeah, this is how much I've got done. There's still quite a bit to do. Look at little Calvin up there. He's so cute. Hi, Kathy Arbor. I don't think I've missed anybody, but yeah, I haven't counted yet. I've still got quite a bit to go. So I'm going to have to really get on the stick here pretty quick. But we still have 2 months to go, so don't worry. I've got 2 names of people that have finished completely. So remember, if you guys finish all the prompts, make sure to let me know. Am I going to gather up a few things to send to Dee Dee? I don't know. I probably should, just to be a team player, right? Hey, Dee Dee, we're talking about you. The thing is, I'm not a huge collage person, so I don't have a lot of images. I don't get magazines unless I buy them, you know, art magazines and that sort of stuff. So I don't have a lot of that stuff in my house. So it would be a chore for me, but I told her I was going to send her nothing but monkeys, and then she could turn it into monkeys in space, which might be fun if I had pictures of monkeys. That's the problem. I have a lot of monkeys around here. If you came in here, you just go, OMG. But everybody gives me monkeys, right? So, Yeah, I have a lot of monkeys. I just don't have a lot of pictures of monkeys. Yeah, people have finished Joy. There's a few people that have participated year after year after year. Um, who, yeah, I'm never surprised that they're the first ones to notify me that they're already done. They zip through it. Creative minds. Draw monkeys. I could draw monkeys, and I have a few monkey stamps. So we'll get to see Kathy Arbor's cards Wednesday. I guess Dee Dee received them today. I don't have too much to show because I haven't been shopping. I haven't been doing anything. Well, other than working in the scavenger hunt book. But I'll show you the couple pages that I did this weekend to show. You guys saw this, and Dee Dee showed my cards on her stream this morning of Fantasy Garden. And when I receive mine back, I'll probably reconfigure this page and put the ones I receive rather than mine in here. Take photos of your monkeys. I guess I could do that. Yeah, that's what I thought, Kathy, that you got mail from Canada that quick? Holy cow. And then this was the Mary Engelbright page that I worked on last week. I went ahead and got it finished. And then when I went to put it in the book, put it in crooked, but oh well. Stuff happens. I probably should paint it all black so your eye can't see it. But yeah, this was a fun page because I love Mary Engelbright. So, yep, got that one done. And you guys have seen those. Okay, this was one of them. This is my puzzle, which is also a cartoon character. I got some glue on the front, apparently. So that was my puzzle page, Dumbo. That was really simple, you guys. A 4-year-old could put that together. So, yeah. Hi, Kimberly. And then this was, one of the prompts is your favorite cartoon character. I like all cartoon characters. There isn't a cartoon character out there that I don't love. For real. And I did it for Inktober one time. Just nothing but cartoon characters because I love them. But Calvin and Hobbes is my all-time favorite cartoon. I wish he was still drawing it, but I think he made his money and then bailed. But I love the adventures of Calvin and Hobbes. It was just so inventive, turning the stuffed tiger into a playmate. So, yeah, I love that. So I like this page, and I drew that and then watercolored it. I was doing that yesterday. And then this one is my greeting card. It's my birthday card from Scooby, and I just wanted to save it because she said, I missed your birthday. Fit. So that's my greeting card. Some of them are pretty darn simple. And that may be all I got done this week. Honestly, I haven't been doing much. And I just stick them in the book wherever I think it fits. So when I'm done with this book, it may end up that there's going to be blank pages. Okay, this is the other one that I finished last week after the stream. Holy crap, the glare on that metallic paint is insane. I'm sorry Eileen's not here to see it because it's so her, right? And you guys, it's not showing up good on the camera, but it's still fun. Hi, Barbara, Trisha. You did your puzzle in minutes, even though it said 2 to 4 years in the box. There you go. And I think that's all I've gotten done. Yep. So that's it for my scavenger hunt. I need to get on the ball. And maybe next Monday I'll do another page in it. I do enjoy doing the pages, I have to say. They're like zero pressure. Was that all the mail?
That's it.
All right, well, there you go. And I've just been putting the chain on the tie so I don't lose it, because I haven't decided what I want to do with it yet. I have an idea, but I haven't decided how I'm going to execute it. Some of these things take a lot of thought, you know? You can't just spit them out in a minute or two. So that's my scavenger hunt book. Okay, thanks, Kimberly. You're a pal. And then, I don't know, I may have mentioned to you guys that Amy got me a tool day planner for Christmas. And so then I had to go buy the punch for the ring binder system. And then I decided I wanted to make my own watercolor journal, because I like the ones I've got, but I honestly do prefer to work not in a journal. Hey, Amy, I was just talking about you. So I went ahead and cut out some watercolor paper 9x9, and I'll be adding to this, but for right now, this is going to be my new watercolor journal, so I can take the pages in and out. So I made this cover real quick, 9x9. I think it's a good size. I'm like Dee Dee, I like the square format. So it's not good for framing or anything, that's for sure. Hi, Marie. Hi, Imelda. I hope I haven't missed a bunch of people coming in. But that's my new watercolor journal that I'm going to start working in. So I'm excited for that. And then today, and that's literally all I have to show, because I don't have new stuff. Some months back, Dee Dee showed, and then I bought these botanical postcards. And excuse the noise in the background, that's Robert. But anyway, when Dee Dee showed these, I was just like, oh, I like those, because it's like a never-ending supply of inspiration, really, is how I looked at these. And you get 100 postcards, and of course they're all botanicals, and I'm not going to show them all because there's a lot. But there's some really, really cool inspiration in here. So that's what I went through to come up with what I wanted to paint today. I'll just flip through a few of them so you can kind of see what's in them. They were pretty inexpensive. Amy said, hi, Robert.
Hi.
They are. These are really, really pretty. And they're, you know, your standard postcard size. So the art is not really that big. But I like them. I like them a lot. This one I have bookmarked so I can come back. I really like that. Probably won't do the cactus, but actually the cactus would be, to me, challenging. So I probably should make myself do one of these, just because, yeah, I think that would be a challenge. Getting the spikes coming out. And for watercolor, that's a real challenge, because you either have to go back in and put the white at the end with a white pen, or plan around it in the beginning. Yes, I did get them at Amazon. I like this one too. I should bookmark this one, because I think this one would be really fun. Watercolored. So let me get a little piece of Post-it out here and bookmark it, because yeah, that's another one. That's gardenia. So that's another one I wouldn't mind doing. There's a lot of them I just look at. This is another one, cactus. That would be really, really challenging. Yeah, I'm going to make myself do it. I've never seen a cotton tree, but that's gorgeous. An orchid. And if you haven't checked Kathy Arbor's Instagram, she has some like African violets and orchids that are blooming apparently right now. My gosh, they're gorgeous. So you get an idea. This one I should bookmark because it's pretty as all get out. So anyway, you get an idea. All right, this one I'm going to save out just because it goes with the one that I'm doing today. Here's a slipper orchid. Well, I said I wasn't going to flip through them, but now I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, oh, I like all of them. I like all of them a lot. Plus, after you're done using them for inspiration, this one would be fun because it's a pattern. That one would be fun. This one would be fun too. And I like botanical books that show not only the bloom, but the roots and all that stuff too. I like all that. Hey, Judy. Anybody else who's come in that I missed? Who would have thought there was so much amazing plants out there? And these are all hand-drawn. I should look. These are from the archives of the New York Botanical Garden, but somebody had to draw these because these are not photographs. The New York Botanical Garden is a museum of plants, an educational institution, and a scientific research organization, founded in 1891 and now a National Historic Landmark. So, yeah, the box doesn't say. Yep, let me look here. Yeah, and they're not on the back, I don't think. So, yeah, I guess when you do the art for the New York Botanical Garden, you don't get credit for your artwork, apparently. But that's okay. Ooh, that one's pretty too. That's an orchid. See, so there's just so many. Ooh, this one's cool. So, yeah, use them for inspiration, then use them as postcards. Send them off to your friends. Some of these I've actually grown. This trumpet flower, I've grown that. Now this one's crazy because it looks like this is actually upside down, but it's not. So go figure. Lots of orchids. This one would be a good one. All right, we got to post. We got to bookmark this one too. I watched a really good video, and I wish I'd written it down to tell you guys about painting, watercoloring white flowers this weekend. So there are tricks to it. I don't think I'm that advanced yet. I'll be lucky if I get today's done. Slipper orchid again, different color scheme. So I did flip through them all. But they're all really, really cool. You just ordered the postcards. To me, I mean, you could use them not only as inspiration to create your own, but you could use these in your art. You can't sell them, obviously, the cards. But yeah, I think using them as inspiration for your art, there is nothing wrong with that. So there you go. So today, well, I'm not sure. This is the card I had picked out, and it's the Crown Imperial. And I like this one because of the colors. It shows blue leaves, which kind of goes into Dee Dee's Fantasy Garden. Well, thank you for your vote of support. But I just like the color scheme in this. The blue, the orange, purple, yellow, green. It's just, to me, it was really pretty. But then here's another one of this same flower, different color schemes. The flowers are the same with the purple up near the base and then orange and red going down. But they don't have the blue leaves. I'm going to paint it blue. Whether it's realistic or not, I don't care. I'm painting it like this one. But, yeah, this probably is more in order with what the real flower looks like, if I had to guess. But I'm doing it my way, or their way, the way I want to do it. So let's get out our cool watercolor stuff. And I thought I'd just use the M-grams. I have so many different sets of watercolors, but I always come back to these. I really do. Probably because I've used them the most, and I just feel comfortable with these. So, yep. The top ones up here are Daniel Smith. These down here are the M-grams. So, and I use them interchangeably. Like, I don't care. You just now got the notification? Well, I'm glad you came over to hang with us, Karen. And a lot of people will spray their entire palette before starting. I don't do that because I don't want the wood wet. All right, what'd I do with my originals so I can kind of see what colors I want to work with here. I'll start with the lightest colors. Don't need a huge amount of yellow. And it's darker, so I'm going to put a little bit of Indian yellow in with it. Get a darker yellow. And then yeah, that'll be good. Next is the orange red, which I didn't even plan this out to think, okay, which of the oranges are you going to use? Because if you look on there, if I'm looking on the camera, it looks really, really orange. But I'm going to use the orange, but I'm going to mix red in with it because the lines in the flower are more red. So I'm going to do a kind of pale orange. And I'm going to need a lot more of that. Well, it's not a big painting, so it's not like you got to mix a mountain of it. And I'm going to add a little bit of Naphthol red in with it, because that is kind of not much, a little bit of an orange red. We'll see how that. I think I got 2. Well, maybe not. No, I think that's going to be good. All right. Purple is going to be tough because I don't have that many purples available. So let's see. We're going to use the Ultraviolet Deep. And that's it looks really dark in the palette, but it's really not. And then probably the Dioxazine Purple. If you're just starting watercolor, I think familiarizing yourself with the colors is probably one of the most difficult, or it has been for me. Hey, Jonna. Oh, that reminds me. I'll show one of Jonna's traveler's notebooks that I bought a few years ago. I kept a couple. I ordered several, and I just kept a couple for myself. And then the rest of them I gave to my granddaughters. So here's the one I got from Jonna. It's Sock Monkeys, and I love it. It's why it's right nearby here. And I'm not actively using it right now. But, yeah. So you can kind of see the quality of Jonna's handmade Traveler's Notebook covers. These are amazing, you guys. And it just makes you happy. Look at. So I love this since the day I got it. So, hey, Uncle Dan. So yeah, and the reason I'm showing that is Jonna is making some more of them and going to put them up in her Etsy shop. So if anybody has Jonna's link to put in there, or Jonna, if you want to put your Etsy shop name in chat, that would be awesome. Hi, Elaine. They are really, really high quality. They're so pretty. And the material, and I could say this for each one that I ordered, the complementary material on the inside is as delicious as the material that she puts on the outside. So I like to recommend good homemade products, and Jonna's are top notch. So Jonna, I don't remember what you charge for them, but whatever you're charging, it's more than worth it. All right, now the blues. And Robert should be done making noise here pretty quick. Right, Robert?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out something I can do to be noisy again.
Well, why don't you go downstairs and start cleaning?
I'll fire up the sweeper.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to get to hear the giant suck here in a minute. You're a nut. Hi, Michelle. All right, we're going to move on to the blues here. My selection of blues is pretty woeful as well. I think I'm going to use a real light version of the cobalt blue. Yeah, cobalt. You almost can never go wrong with cobalt blue, right? Hi, Nashua. I think I just love this one so much because it was so colorful. Let's look here. Oh, I didn't test the purples either. Okay. Yeah, if I add more water to that, it's going to be good enough for the real light. Yep. That'll work. And the darker blue, I'll use the anthraquidine or whatever. I only have part of the word on here. But it is dark blue. But it's really pretty. Might have watered it down too much. Okay, yep, those are the two blues. Oh, this is going to be so pretty. All right, and last is greens. And I don't know if everybody feels like this, but hi, Joan. The greens that you buy in any product, not just watercolor, but any product, to me, never look real. Never, ever look real. So I'm going to use sap green. Like the greens that you see out in nature in real life. That could just be me, though. Okay, and I'm going to use Hooker's green. And then I haven't put the green that Kathy Arbor told me. I haven't put it on my cheat sheet. So let me pull it up and tell you which one it is. Oh, I know. I put it in the wrong place. It's up here. I should not do that to myself. Perylene green. And it's a real dark green. So we're going to use some of that. And I think that's all the colors that we're going to need. All right, let's test the greens and then we're going to get painting. Okay, I like that one. It's good to use it close to Suppose other people don't have to do this, but I do. I think I want the hookers a little bit darker than that. Yeah. Hope you guys are entertaining yourself in chat. And then the dark, dark green. Oh, yeah, I need some more of that. All right, I may have, that's a really kind of a blue green. I'm going to use it for the dark, dark green though. It looks really pretty. Okay, I think we got all our colors. Let me try that dark, dark purple and see, make sure that it's the purple that I want before I put this away. Okay, it's good. So those are our colors right there. I think they're going to be good. You always too much. Exactly, Michelle. I do the same thing. Too much or too little. And then the thing, if I stop painting, and this annoys me about myself, if I'm not going to finish the painting right now today, like I might have the memory to remember what colors I used today, but then if I have to go back and mix more tomorrow, like I'm screwed. I don't remember what colors I used. Yeah. So, but when it's on stream, it's nice because I can go back and find out what I was using. Okay. I did just go ahead and draw this. I'm a little hacked off. Dee Dee, you can see what I was talking about now when I was telling you about the drawing. I should have started over, but I didn't because I didn't get it centered on the sheet. So you can see up here at the top, I'm right at the top. Down here, I have about 3/4 to an inch, and then it's not centered left and right. So I think what I'm going to end up doing on this is 6x9 paper. I'll end up cutting it down and mounting it on black, so there'll be a black border around it. But yeah, I was a little harebrained when it came to getting this centered, but I was doing it while Dee Dee was streaming the other day, last Wednesday. So I wasn't paying necessarily attention to where the placement on the sheet, and when I saw it started going bad, I didn't stop and I'm trying to find some masking tape here. I'm watercoloring on B paper. I like the B paper. It's an well, it used to be inexpensive option, and I like it for when I'm just doing something, practicing or whatever. I do like the B paper, but yeah, I should have stopped and recentered it before I finished the drawing, because then after I finished the drawing I was like, dang it, it's the wrong place on the paper, you know. But oh well. It's cold pressed paper. It doesn't have a lot of texture, but it's not the smooth surface that the hot is, and I don't have much room up here to tape it down. But the B paper, will warp, in my opinion, a little more than the arches. Even though they say it's 100% cotton, it warps a little bit. So that's why I want to tape it down. I'm not going to paint the background, so it's not like I want to have that crisp edge. I'm doing this more to keep the paper flat, keep it from buckling. It doesn't handle water as well as arches, but it's still really good for just goofing on. If you're just going to practice or just want to watercolor, it's more than good enough. And I don't know, somebody said the bee paper was back at Amazon. But then I went and looked, and it wasn't in stock again. They were offering some other version of the paper, and I've seen it before, and it's crap. So apparently bee paper is sporadic. But yeah, this is cold press, but it doesn't have much texture at all. So, but I can't say hot press because it doesn't have that nice smooth. I'm not a fan of hot press watercolor paper. Just saying. Okay, let's start with the lightest. In watercolor, you have to start with your lightest, right? If I had any whites on here, I would leave them, especially in areas where you can't go back and add white paint or something later. So, and my hand's dirty because, oh, I was going to pick up some of this drawing real quick. When I was drawing Calvin and Hobbes, I used this carbon platinum fountain pen a lot for drawing. I really like it, and I like the carbon ink. And I use it all the time, but even if you use a pen all the time, you have to clean it periodically. You know, the ink just stops flowing as nice and stuff like that. So when I started drawing Calvin and Hobbes, I just noticed that the ink wasn't flowing as nice. So I thought, okay, it's probably time to clean the pen and re-ink it and stuff like that. Well, invariably, I spilled the ink and it ended up all over my hands. And that carbon ink, if you get it under your fingernails or in your fingernails, it's never coming out. This will have to grow out. It will never come out. I don't care how many times I wash my hair. It's there. Hi, Orla. So, yeah. All right. I'm going to just pick up a little bit of the drawing because I haven't decided if I'm going to go back and ink it later. I kind of save that for the end. But I'm not sure I want the drawing in your face. It's certainly not that way on this one, you know. Whoever drew those sure did a good job, though. And I'm sure most of you are familiar with a kneaded eraser. If I rubbed it, I could probably erase a lot of it, but otherwise it just picks up a little bit of the graphite. And if I'd have been thinking when I drew this, but I was trying to be super mod over at Dee Dee's and draw. Super mod. There's only one super mod in the world, and it's Picola. I don't even try. So I'm sorry if I'm picking up more graphite so you guys can't necessarily see the drawing, but hopefully you'll see it as it reveals itself as I paint, right? So here we go. I see my job at Dee Dee's to provide comic relief. You just can't compete with a Picola. And I know her name is Helen. I just like Picola. I've wondered 100 times, too, how did she come up with that name? Have you tried any of the liquid watercolors? They look like ink but are watercolor. Yes, I actually have some of those, Michelle. I'm trying to think. And I haven't used them enough that I can honestly say, oh, I really like them or I really dislike them, because I don't know that I've formed an opinion. I think part of my problem is you get kind of your favorites, Oh, okay, she lives in Pensacola. Thanks, CB. I've wondered that for the longest time. Where did she come up with that name, Pensacola? Now it makes perfectly good sense. Why didn't I think of that? But anyway, I think you kind of get your favorites, and then I like buying more because you can never have too much, right? But to me, it's kind of like setting up this palette. That's part of the process that to me is kind of setting your brain up or something. So I don't know, the liquid watercolors, when you just pour them out into your palette, there's something about that that's not as satisfying. But the product themselves, and I'm trying to think which ones I have. I'll tell you here in just a second. I'll look it up while that yellow's drying. I think they're in here. I meant to move them, but I haven't yet. Okay, those are the inks. I have the P.H. Martin Hydrus, and then Koo gave me, and I can't remember what they're called. Well, I can't remember what they're called, but yeah, I have two different kinds. But I have to say the quality of the product is not an issue. I like the quality of the product. But there's still something about just setting this up that's, to me, very, very satisfying. All right. I'm going to do this a different way I think, because, well, no, not necessarily. See the highlight right in there, and there's some highlight down here. I was going to put the mid-tone in all at once, but I don't think I'm going to. Never mind. Stupid idea. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay. And I made this color light intentionally. I can always go back and add some of the orange back to it. But it's best to start out light, right? And I'm going to skip a couple of the petals so I can keep them like a variation of color. Some darker, some lighter, depending on... All right, that was the back one. I should have left that. I'll pick it up. So how many of you guys are doing the art card swap? I'm excited to see them as Dee Dee gets them. She should be getting a bunch in this week. Hi, Christine. I'm going to pick up a little bit of the white on and leave the highlight on this one right now. And you smooth out this, or I'm going to get some hard lines, which I don't want. I'm going to get the hard lines anyway. I will be able to disguise them, however, because when I'm getting near the end, there are vertical lines that you can't see in the drawing, but they'll be there. Yes, and you've never collaged before. Well, good for you doing something different. I keep threatening to do some collage. Um, but the thing is, and I know this for real, Dee Dee makes it look like magic, and I tell her that all the time. Like, I'm intimidated because I know it's not going to be as easy as she makes it look. Plus, then I'd have to start collecting up all that stuff. Like I was telling her just a few minutes ago, that material she got this morning was gorgeous. I mean, it was gorgeous, right? Don't say that, Trisha. Apologies, because I think if we recognize this is your first time, I think anybody would be happy. One, that you're willing to give it a go, you know? But anyway, Dee Dee was showing that material this morning, and it was gorgeous. I mean, just looking at it, the material itself was just gorgeous. But I felt myself, as she was showing it, getting more and more nervous. Like, oh my God, if that was in my house and I felt the pressure to have to do something with that now, oh, I couldn't deal with it. And she said, just put it in a plastic bag. Who cares? You have no idea how that uncomfortable feeling is just like, oh, I'm so glad that's at her house and not mine. You miss Dee Dee? You'll have to go back and watch the recording because she shows some material that she ordered from Amour Fabrique, I think. AMOUR, and then FARBRIQUE, I believe, is the website. I'm going to get some of the red paint out now to if I want to darken. So anyway, but I was just sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, that fabric is so gorgeous. But I would be so overwhelmed. I mean, like, you have no clue how overwhelmed I would feel by that. That I was just nervous for her. Like, oh, God, now you're going to have to do something with that. All right, this one is underneath. My drawing may not be as good as I thought. But we're going to make it work regardless, so. But I did like the little prayer pouches. I don't think it's something I would do, though. Bless my heart. Now I can hear how Dee Dee's saying that. She's not saying that bless your heart. She's saying it like really, really sarcastic, you know? Like I can hear her saying that. Oh, bless your heart, you little weenie. Scaredy cat. All right. Let's see. I want some that are a little bit more orange now. Okay. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Now, see, a zine to me is fun because you get to sit down and plan it all out before you ever even get to start. Okay, this one I'm going to do more kind of like wet on wet. Hopefully that's not dry, so I got to stay away from that edge. Ah, good, it's not going to absorb it. Okay, we're good. We're good. Does this look orange on this you guys' screen? On mine it looks very red orange, but it's more orange than red. So I hope you guys are getting that same color. Hi Mom and Son. Hey Kathenberg. In a year you'll be ready to do a zine. We'll start out with a real easy collage zine. That's what I would do. Just start out real easy. And the thing is, you know, and this is the cool thing about hanging out with this group, I think. None of us are going to judge anything you do harshly. We're just not going to. Because I think we all recognize that we've all been where you're at. So the fact that you come to a Dee Dee stream or a my stream or Kathy Berg stream or Kathy Arbor stream to get inspiration and learn, I more than anything take that as a compliment that you would even spend your time hanging with us and thinking that we have something worth talking about or showing you. So hi Dorothy. See, Ashley, I do too, the planning process. So you have to start somewhere. And I think as a streamer, and I'm not going to talk for all streamers, but I think as a streamer, gosh, more than anything, I'm probably humbled that you guys will come and hang with us. And I appreciate everything that somebody's willing to do and share. And I think Instagram is a good way to get over that feeling of, oh, whatever I'm doing is not good enough. Just put it out there, and most of our crowd is going to appreciate what you've done. You've been taking watercolor classes, Jonna. I probably should look at my local Votech or whatever and get into one, because it would be fun to meet people local who have the same interests, but I probably would also learn a lot. But that's the beauty of YouTube too, is you know, when you have a question about anything, literally, even if it's fixing your disposal, like you can get on YouTube and virtually find anything about anything. Okay, and I wish that hadn't happened, but I might be able to fix it. I think I can. Okay, that's kind of the base and the colors of all the different petals, I guess. I wanted to call them leaves, but they're really petals. I forgot to get out a shadow color. In a couple of these, I'm going to put real light yellow in the highlights, like this one coming down. I have to really look here This one has some yellow in it. And those things are really subtle. You probably can't see them until the end, and that's when it's really, really noticeable. Need to learn more about perspective. See, I like perspective. To me, drawing perspective is like learning math. It's just fun. Okay, I'm going to put another darker coat here and start building up some of the light and darks because my lights are done now. Yeah, so I'm going to make my darkers a little bit darker, and then I'll do the mid-range. And I skip around so I'm not painting next to an area that's already wet. So then it doesn't bleed, right? Okay. I'm interested to hear how you end up liking it, Jonna. What classes are you taking in Australia? I noticed this morning you were talking about classes. Are you taking photography still? Okay. All right, now we're starting to see some depth, right? You love doing TV camera work. It's so much fun. Cool. Documentaries and script writing. Well, you should start directing Dee Dee. All right, let's see. Put some dark in here. You having a sinus attack? Well, Dee Dee, I have not been really good this week. That's all I can say. Saturday, I don't remember what day. Yeah, I've been having a lot. But it's my own fault, so I'm not going to even complain because it's my own fault. I'm allergic to, well, I'm thinking I'm allergic more to just milk anymore because it's gotten so much worse. But milk is a for sure, and any milk products, whether it's cottage cheese or anything, it's just, So yeah, and I forgot to take my medicine this morning, so my bad. Sorry, guys. Alright, I want the shadow over here a little bit darker. Okay, it's looking good. Cedar pollen's been bad. I'm sure I'm getting some of that as well, Carol. It's been so dry here, though, but we did finally get some rain. That I don't know that the pollens had necessarily been bothering me that much. But I could be so wrong. I don't know. And since I've turned off the television completely, I don't get those reports anymore. I don't watch news of any kind, not even local news. Don't like any of them. Hate them all. Alright, I'm going to get out some dark now. I'll hit that with a heat gun. I think I'm going to use a real light Payne's Gray for shadows. I hope I'm not goofing up there, but I like Payne's Gray. It's either that or neutral tint, and I can't decide which I want. Which do I want? I think I want the Payne's Gray. Real light. Alright, let's see. Okay, that'll work. That will work. I'm going to hit this with a heat gun because I don't want to put it on while it's wet. I just noticed something that I want to do. One nice thing about the bee paper, it does dry really quickly. It's not like it absorbs all the moisture. Right now, before I do anything else or put any dark on it, I want to go ahead and get that dip right in the leaf, and it's in this one. Now I'll just tease that out a little bit. Sorry if I move that where you guys can't see it. All right, I'm liking it. I can start to see. Now I'm going to have to hit it with the heat gun again real quick. I kind of want to do... no, I'm not going to. All right, heat gun real quick. Okay. Now I'll put in some of the dark. Seems crazy to dry it and then re-wet it, but with watercolor, that's kind of what you have to do. You kind of have to heat set it and then come back in and re-wet it where you want it. And if you don't do that, you end up getting hard lines. And B paper is especially bad for leaving the dark lines. All right, I'm looking on camera to see how that... All right, we'll see how that goes. These shadows I'm doing more like wet on wet. And sometimes I have to go back and do like 3 layers or something because I'm not familiar enough and I haven't been watercoloring enough that I'm just timid enough that I won't just go for it, you know? And this one, I'll see how it looks after I do it. All right. I honestly don't know. It's called a Crown Imperial. If somebody wants to go look it up, but I don't know. It looks very tropical to me, but I don't know. Sometimes desert flowers can be as striking as tropical flowers, you know. But this, I'd almost bet money, is going to be tropical. Now I'm just fixing some areas that I want darker or lighter, whatever, before I dry it real good. And then we'll move on and do the some of the leaves so you can start getting an idea, because I'll come in and do the detail, the lines on these petals very last. Very, very last. I don't like how that kind of has that stark line right there, even though that's kind of how it looks. It actually shaded out a little bit. So that's where we are. Oh, I have a shadow here that I haven't put in. Okay, got to go back and put it in. I have to come back. Well, I can get just a little bit. Going with a little bit darker, because otherwise I was going to have to come back in and do multiple layers. Okay. I like that. Nope, you can grow these. Look at, there's our plant expert jumping in saying, nope, you can grow these. Fritillaria. Yeah, I agree with Jane. Yes, Kathy, you could grow this. Really, I could grow this. I don't. It's so hot in Oklahoma. I'm not sure if you really could grow it or not, you know? All right. I'm going to go ahead and put the blue where they've shown the blue leaves up here and down, because I think the blue is going to be really pretty next to this. So let's go in with a little bit of blue. I'm going to do the very, very lightest blue, and it's going to be hard to see because remember it's just like light blue. Okay, so you guys go find this plant, because according to Kathy Arbor, you can grow this. I'm not sure I could grow it. Everything's so hard in Oklahoma now. Like if I was in Colorado, I probably would not be intimidated to at least try something like this. But in Oklahoma, man, it's just harder to grow things back here. Well, one, I don't grow plants in my house. They're a spring bulb. They die off like daffodils. Really? Well, maybe I could grow them in Oklahoma then, because the spring isn't so bad. But anything that has to live through the summer down here has got to be really, really hardy. because the summers down here are absolutely brutal. They're so dang hot. That's why tomatoes do really well in Oklahoma, because it's so damn hot. I think the only thing that really grows well in Oklahoma, pretty much, is weeds. Weeds grow really good here. No water and heat. But in Colorado, you could grow pretty much anything. All right. And then this one's going out there. So this one, I didn't draw the curve in, but I'll just make it real quick right there. And then the other blue I'll add as I'm adding the green, but those leaves that are primarily blue, I'm going to go ahead and leave them. They're spring perennials and should come back every year. Cool. Yeah, gardening in Texas was hell too. When we used to go down there to spend the winters, I tried because I thought, well, why not? I had plenty of time. It was real sandy soil though, and that was a problem. But I did end up going and buying dirt and mixing it in. But oh my God, it was so hard to grow anything in Texas. If I lived in Texas, I would not have a garden. I would do what I'm doing here. Do tomatoes in pots, and then anything else that is like a weed. Cucumbers you could grow because they're a weed. Any kind of squash is a weed. Does anybody know where to buy good bulbs? Go online. There are tons of online bulb and seed companies. I used to, I can't think of the ones that I did in Colorado. Okay, where's this? But yeah, there's tons of places you can order bulbs from. And they come nicely shipped. You don't even have to go out and look for them. I bought all my plants. I had a I should try and find those pictures. But in Colorado, I had a beautiful garden. Jim had built me raised beds. And then I ordered all the plants from an online company. And they came packed so nice. And I loved my garden there. And then I got here and it was just like, holy crap, you can't hardly grow anything. Well, another reason I couldn't grow anything was because the stupid people that live here let their dogs crap in my garden. But that's a whole nother story that I bitch about all the time. So, gardening is in Georgia's red clay is horrible. Yeah, start with good dirt. I mean, if you're ever going to have a Chinaman's chance of even growing anything, you got to get some good dirt. I think it was these blue leaves is what really intrigued me about this particular postcard. And I know that they're probably not blue in real life, but I just liked the way they looked in this. So, and there were things about it that I thought, well, that will be a good challenge for me. And if it comes out good, this will turn into my next print, because I'm going to need a print for people who support the channel and do PayPals and stuff. So I'm going to need another print. So I'm hoping this one comes out really good so I can use it for a print. This one's not as blue, so. And then this one has some blue hue there. Just looking to see if I've missed anything before I move on. These edges are pretty crapola, I have to say that. Clean up your edges before they dry. It's hard to go back and do it later. And that not uncommonly is why I might end up inking it after I'm done, is because I didn't pay close enough attention to my edges. Yeah, see, that's the problem here, CB. Even with, what do they call them, canna? They recommend that you dig them up and store them. I'm not doing that. Not doing that. So I had them the first few years that I lived here. And then after Jim got sick and I was taking care of him, there was no way I could go out and actually dig up bulbs and store them and keep them. And that just wasn't happening. All right, let me hit it with the heat gun so we can move on. This one I got wetter than the others. All right, real quick before, because I didn't pick up the paint for the highlights. Let me do that real quick. Before I get too far. And like I just noticed, this one's already too dry. I didn't leave the highlights on the leaves like I should have. So on those, I will go back and add some white gouache and lighten them. So yeah, when you do something stupid, there's always a way to fix it. All right, I'm going to finish the blues. Just thinking how I want to go about this. Because I think that blue, let's see here. Where's my little cheater sheet? Okay. All right, let's just try it and see. I haven't decided yet. I think I am going to try and put the vertical lines, which you guys can't really see, but I like the technique. There's vertical lines in these to give texture in the leaves themselves. I haven't decided yet. Do I want to do that with colored pencil or watercolor? I haven't decided yet. I might try and do it with a brush. Get a really fine line brush just to test myself more than anything. Good practice to learn brush control and stuff. So yeah, I might do it with a brush. Oh, do any of you guys watch the Curiosity Inc. YouTube channel? They're the guys who bought the hoarder's house, the potter's house, whatever. They bought another hoarder's house, and that has been the funnest series to watch. They had a auction this weekend of the jewelry that they found in this hoarder's house. If you haven't watched it, CB, when you're just looking for something fun to watch, anyway, they found Madame, Dee Dee probably can tell you, Madame Rock. Anyway, she was into clothing. Anyway, they had an auction this weekend selling off her jewelry. And they bought the entire house, and I don't want to give everything away if you're going to go watch it, because it's so much fun kind of to be surprised as you go along. But they had an auction this weekend, and if you haven't watched the results of the auction, you have to go watch. You have to go watch. I'm not kidding you. You're going to be stunned and amazed and so happy for those young people, you know? But man, they're willing to do some dirty work that I'm not sure I would be so willing to do. So kudos to them. Because I'm not sure I would be happy digging around other people's trash. I've got enough of my own. But yeah, that's been a really, really fun series on YouTube. It's called Curiosity Inc. is the YouTube channel. And one of the fun things about the channel is through all of their journeys from day one, and I think Dee Dee actually turned us on to this, they pal around with some really interesting characters, I guess is the best way to put it. You missed the auction? Oh my gosh, you've got to go watch it. It was this weekend. And they sold some amazing jewelry. This woman had some amazing jewelry. And I'd like to see what happens with the clothes. They sold the clothes as a package to somebody who sells vintage clothing, right? And I can't remember their Etsy shop right off the top of my head, but the vintage clothing will be sold on a different, somebody else sold that or bought all of it, just bought it all. But I'd like to see some of the clothes this woman had, and I'm not a clothes person, don't care. I used to be, but I'm not anymore. I'd love to see some of the clothes that they took out of that house and what people end up paying for them. I bet it'll be mind-boggling. They found an entire bar of silver underneath her mattress. So that whole thing about hiding stuff under your mattress, apparently some people take that really seriously and do it. But it's really fun. If you're looking for something to watch, just go watch it. It's very, very fun. But I think more importantly about that whole thing is the guy's name is Alex and his wife's name is Melissa. They seem like such good people. And I love watching good people, or good things happen to good people, you know? And that's how I feel about them. You know, they're hardworking, they help others, they help their friends, they help, you know. Well, there was one homeless guy, I'll tell you a quick story. I'm pretty sure he was homeless. But anyway, he was unemployed and living out in Alberta, no money. And he found some piece of artwork in the trash that he brought in to sell to Alex. And I don't know what Alex gave him, like $20 or something for this artwork. And when he actually started looking into it, it turned out that it was a cell, animated cell from, I think it was a Disney production, yeah, Disney cell. And he sold it for big bucks. And he went looking for that guy that he had bought it from. And he didn't have to do this. And I think this is when I fell in love with Alex. He didn't have to do this. And I don't know how many people would do this. He went out and found that guy. It wasn't Hans that did this. That guy's name was it Adam, Dee Dee? Yeah, Alex hunted down the homeless person and split the money with him. Literally, I mean, wasn't it like $5,000 that he ended up giving the guy? And the guy was trying to get home to another province where his family was. And Alex helped him return home so he could be near his family and kids and stuff. You know, it was just a guy who had really fallen down on his luck, you know, and by the grace of God, there could go any of us, right? And I think when I saw him do that, I was a fan for life. I'm not kidding. Anybody who would do that. And he made it hard on himself was a crazy thing. It wasn't even like finding this guy was easy, you know? So I think people who will do that for their fellow man, I want to support them. I want them to do well. There's not, you know, I'm sure some people watching would be like, oh, you know, you should share that with the family or whatever on this hoarder's house. And it was just like, you know what? They didn't want to do the work necessary to get that hoarder's house cleaned out. So if he comes out ahead of that, I'm all for that. I am all for that. He's just a good egg. And I think he's probably raising good kids too. So good on him. All right, that's that one. That one, I guess I'm just making it up as I go along. All right, because that one, just looking here to see if I have all the pieces. This one looks a little funky, but I think it'll look better. Yeah, I'm going to put that little bit of shadow down there. That'll help it. So anyway, that's my recommendation for today. Go watch Curiosity Inc. And someday I think it would be a ton of fun, because I've watched him for so long now. Yeah, Curiosity Inc. is the YouTube channel. But I think it would be so much fun if we ever get to travel again, which was kind of Robert's and my idea before the coronavirus. I would love to drive up to Edmonton, Alberta, and go into a shop. Yeah, the auction. I wasn't going to say the auction total. By the time he paid, the auction house gets 25%, So that knocks his portion down to about 215,000. And of course, he's got to pay taxes on that. But that's the equivalent. He did the math, I didn't, of about 170,000 American. So, yep, that just made me happy, happy, happy as all get out. You know that those, and they have 3 kids. You know, I think of them as young people. I'm going to start doing the green, and I'll come back in and do whatever I need to on the blue more toward the end. But it's looking, I like it pretty much. So I'm saving the purple for very last. All right, let's put the lightest green in first, because everything will have some of this light green. I think it's time for me to go get my eyes tested again. I think it's been a couple years. And I was reading this weekend using the same glasses I always use, my reading glasses. And I caught myself squinting. I thought, well, what's that about? So, and I just noticed myself doing it again here. So I think it may be time for me to go get my eyes tested. I hate the idea of having to buy new glasses. Ugh. This is going to look pretty bland until I start adding some interest here. I'm setting up to do wet on wet, and I don't really need to do that if I'm going to do everything the same shade of green. And kind of like drawing while I'm working on this, I am watching my reference art, because sometimes it's hard to go back in and add. Like right there, I wanted to add a little bit of yellow. So, yeah, watch your reference art. Was there a buyer's premium? A day and a half from Edmonton. I've been to Edmonton a few times, actually. It's a nice city. I have friends who live there as well. People that, winter Texans that I met down in Texas, but we've remained friends all these years. A lot of Canadians go to Texas for the winter. And I can't say that I blame them if you watch the weather in Canada. Like, did you see Kathy Arbor's picture of the snow from the weekend? Ugh. I remember, like, on weekends, I didn't mind if it did that. But if it was a work morning and I had to get up and drive in that, ugh. My initial thought was, OMG, I don't miss that even a little bit. Take me 2 hours to get to work. Or if it was starting to snow when I was at work and I knew I had to drive home in it. Ugh. Not to mention the below zero temperatures. We don't have that here. Usually. I mean, it's been known to happen, but we don't have it. Alright, that one I'm going to leave for now, I think. Oh, I forgot one. Oh well. Oh well. Oh, I saw your question, CB, about a buyer's premium. I'm not sure even what you're talking about. I'm not a big auction person. I actually sold some furniture at an auction once, but I didn't actually attend. I just let them come pick it up and then sell it for me. That actually down here is a good way to sell furniture. You don't get probably as much as it's worth, but it's so easy to get rid of your stuff that way. If it's still good, you know, you can't sell junk, but yeah, I don't know. I went to an auction when I was in college, and it was a government auction. That was actually kind of fun. They were selling old printing equipment and typesetting machines and stuff like that. That was actually a fun auction. I don't think we ended up buying anything, but they had an old linotype machine there and stuff. And if you ever go to a government auction, you can get some really good deals there. An extra percentage above the price added on. That I don't know, CB. He never mentioned that. He just said that the auction house got 25%, which for the volume of stuff that he was moving, I think that was a bargain because he could not have sold that in several years on his own. So an auction was about the only way he was going to be able to move that stuff, in my opinion. So I think for him it was an excellent way to get rid of it. All right. I'm going to mix some more of that sap green. I'm running low, and since I'm starting a new leaf here in a minute, I want to go ahead and mix it now. So and there's my cheater sheet. Ooh, that's way too dark. That's better. Yeah, I obviously didn't mix enough. I always either mix too much or not enough. I don't know if you'll be able to see the blue on camera through that green. And if I don't end up liking it, I'll add it back in. All right, let's see what we got going here. All right. I'm going to go ahead and add. Hopefully I won't need that yellow anymore because I'm going to add the yellow onto this one. And it's going to look dirty because there was still green in my brush, but it'll still be all right. The nice thing about watercolors, it's the nice thing and it's also the most maddening thing, is the transparency. Like I can add this yellow and you actually end up making a whole new color of paint. So that's a cool thing. It's hard to get used to if you've used, you know, acrylic paint. I'm not an acrylic painter, never have been, never will be, but yeah, it's so different than other mediums than you use that way. Cool. I'm liking it. Your jet set life. You went to get the snail mail and throw out the garbage and recycle. Big day at your house, right, Barb? You're unpacking, Sharon? Did you move? There's a lot that goes on in this community I don't know anything about. I didn't know you were moving. Alright, here we go. We'll do the green down here, and then we'll start some detail. And hopefully by the time I'm done, you guys will get at least close to a feel for the finished product. And I know there's other painters out there who could probably do this in about a half an instant. I'm not one of those painters. I think one of the things that slows me down is I know how to correct some errors, you know, like drawing. You can do that fast because you can always go back and fix. Watercolor is not that forgiving, so if you screw something up, yeah, you're not going to probably be able to fix it as easily. Alright, so that's the blue coming down to there. Okay. And I guess it's been a while since I mentioned the type of brush I use. These are the Black Velvet Silver. My favorite brushes. They're the best brushes I have, and they're obviously my favorite, but I use them close to 100% of the time. But there's lots of good brushes out there, but these somebody recommended them, I bought them, and I have to say, I love them. Thanks, Orla. So far, I'm liking it. It's looking pretty good so far. Alright, now I'm going to hit it with a heat gun so I can go back in and start adding some of the shadows, and that's when it starts getting fun. I don't know if you guys get the same satisfaction, but I love the idea. And it doesn't matter if I'm writing in a journal, if I'm drawing on a piece of paper, whatever. I love that this started out as just a plain white piece of paper. And by throwing some graphite and paint and junk on it, that you end up with something cool like this. That has always intrigued, amazed me. That yeah, it just started out as a white piece of paper, and now it's got something pretty on it. And you can do that. Alright, let's see. I'm going to do the mid-tones next. That's kind of dark. I'm going to add a little bit of water to it. Alright. Now it's time to start really, really paying attention. And I'll start doing more wet on wet now, right? And have to start moving around the page because I don't want the I want to keep the definition of each of the leaves. I might do the mid and the dark together. I'll just see how it works out. Well, no, I'm not going to be able to, because if I put the dark in now, the real dark, it's going to go ahead and just absorb all over. So I'm going to have to wait. Thank you, Sharon. Is Orla okay? All right. I'll include Orla in my prayers. I obviously missed something. I hope she's okay. Oh, I got to do those little stems too. Oops, too much water. Sometimes when I'm doing this and I want the paint to flow, pick up your paper, whatever, and it will flow for you, which is nice. But by doing it this way, you can get a nice gradation of the color by doing it that way. So I like that. All right, on these blue ones, they kind of, I gotta skip. I can't paint right next to where I've already painted, so I'll do this one next. And I'll have to do this a third time for the dark. Oh, Barb, that's such a nice thing to say. Thank you. See, to me, this is, I never set out to be a great artist. It's just something I enjoy doing, and because I'm at a point in my life where I have tons of free time, and I'm very fortunate to have it, I just like doing it to fill up my time, and it's something I actually really enjoy. It was never my intent to, be a great artist. It's still not. But I think you're happier and healthier in life if you're always pursuing something and learning. And that's why I started watercolor. I already felt like given any subject, I could probably draw it adequately, sometimes a little more than adequately. But I didn't feel like I was learning anymore, because I'd pretty much absorbed not all the knowledge in the world, but I just wasn't learning as I was going, and so I just felt like I needed another challenge, something else to learn. And I know Dee Dee's that way, and I've always been that way. That was why I took up, like calligraphy or anything else, is I like learning stuff. And the calligraphy, I was doing that back when I had almost no time. Because I had, family, kids at home, cooking dinner, doing the things families do. So yeah, I'm glad I've taken up watercolor because it's definitely something new to learn all the time. And I think do yourself a favor. Take up something new. Or push yourself. Seeing that, I think I can't go up there. I don't know what the hell I think I'm doing. Yeah, learn something new. And if you end up good at it, what the heck? But I wouldn't care if I was good at this or not. I just enjoy kind of everything about it, really. And I've gotten to the point in the whole process where it's not even about like buying more watercolors. I feel like, okay, you've got enough watercolors, you've got enough everything. Now you just need to sit your rotten butt down and do it. Oh, I was going to say, dang it, did I pick up the darkest? I didn't. I've still got one more level of dark I can go. Ooh. That's not a cat hair. You know how many days it's been since I've had to pick off a cat hair? Oh my gosh, when I just did that, it made me think that. I haven't had to pick up a cat hair in forever. Okay, John went shopping. I have to read this. Thank you for inspiring me to buy bulbs today. I ordered freesia, allium, gladiola. I love gladiola. I wish you lived close, Jonna, because I would give you my gladiola stands. And they make a peony that is for Florida. Cool. Peonies are gorgeous. Do not let Robert near your yard on a riding lawnmower if you have peony bushes. That's just free advice from me to you. But they should grow. Good luck, Jonna. Now that you've bought all this stuff, I want to see some photos when you get them out in the ground and they're all beautiful and your neighbors are all jelly. Poor rat. He'll never live that down, right, CB? Crazy man. For those of you who are new and don't know why I said that, a few years ago there was a big sale. In fact, Elaine, I think she's here, Elaine and I bought a ton of plants at the nursery. And I bought 2 peony bushes to put on either side of my driveway. My driveway is a drive-through, you know, come down, carport's here, drive out, garage is over here. So I had a peony bush here and a peony bush here. Okay, that's my yard. And then there's a raised flower bed here and then a raised flower bed here. So I thought these peony bushes would look really good on either side of the garage, you know, going out. And man, they no sooner started blooming and looking good. But they get great big flowers on them, right? And so they fall over. Well, that was hard to mow around. So Robert just mowed them over. Yep, there goes your peony bush. No more of that crap for you, girly. To the point where I talked about it, and I'd get you get frustrated, but you can't get mad with a guy who's willing to do all the yard work and everything. I don't have to go out and sweat. I don't have to go out and do anything because Robert Vaughn is excellent at doing that. But I bitched about it so much on my stream that Lena, and most of you I know Lena. She's an artist out in Denmark, and I bitched so much about Robert. This is Robert Vaughn on his riding lawnmower mowing over Janet's bush. Honest to God, I got this. I will never ever get rid of this. This is the funniest thing in the world. But yeah, don't let Robert anywhere near your peony bush. You will be one very sorry girl. Alright, so that, I actually goofed that up a little bit. Oh well, I'll do it with the darker. Hopefully I'll be able to save that, but I kind of goofed that up. Telling about the peony bush. Yeah, just don't let your mower guy mow it down. But one side, okay, this side of the garage, this side of the driveway, when he mowed that bad boy over, it has never come back. This bush on this side, it is still struggling along. Lena's here. There's Lena, that little lurker. Yeah, the rat and his peony bush. But yeah, I still have one of them. And I keep thinking that I'm going to go buy another one, but I know he hates mowing around him, so I don't know why I feel like it's my job to antagonize the hell out of that poor man. And peonies are really easy to take care of, Jonna, so you'll be happy about that. They're really, really easy. You just plop those bad boys in the ground, give them some water, and they'll grow for you. Okay, this actually should have just been the darkest color because there's, like, that is total shadow. I'm going to go ahead and do it now while I've got it wet. Yep, the rat and the peony bush. Okay, again, pay attention to your edges because you may not get a chance to go back and fix them later. Thanks, Lena. Group hug on you. You're lurking because you're working in Mary's Journaling by 5 challenge from the weekend. Lena, Dee Dee and I think, are going to get together and do a Journaling by 5 stream. I don't know what makes us think we can do that, but somebody asked us, or asked me, and then I talked to Dee Dee, about whether or not she'd be interested or willing to do it. But I think we're going to do a Journaling by 5 stream, and then it's going to look like we're copying everybody, but you know what? We are, so we don't care. I've got to go watch some of Shannon Green's, because it's literally been years since I've done Journaling by 5s. But it sounded fun. I'm kind of glad that it's coming back around because Journaling by 5s was fun. You know, it's like instinctive art. You just better get your butt on it and get it done, because you don't have time to think about too much of anything. Now, I was telling Dee Dee, I don't know how many of you've had to be around a long time to remember Phoebe. Do you guys remember Phoebe? That wasn't her YouTube or Ustream name. But her and her sister did a Journaling by 5s video. And I think she was the one that finally prompted me to give it a go, because it was just like, they were insane trying to follow those prompts. So I thought, okay, I'm going to give this a go because it looks fun. Does a perennial mean they come back? Yes, Jonna. Perennial means that they come back year after year. And it's odd because a lot of what I would call perennials are not called perennials, but anything that goes to seed readily, if you leave it out and let it go to seed and it comes back readily, I think of that as a perennial, but most people don't. They will still call it an annual. But yeah, I think anything that reseeds itself should be considered. But again, you have to let it go to seed for it to come back. So I guess that's why they decide. If it comes back from seed, then it's not. If it comes back from the plant, then it's a perennial. Okay, and I've got to wait until that dries before I can do that. But yeah, that's looking pretty good. I've given up on such planting. I will soon be purchasing an arrow garden and grow herbs. Good luck with your planting. Well, I think Jonna lives in really a good climate, in my opinion, for growing stuff. I've never lived there, but I would just think fertilize and water, Jonna. That's the big thing, is you got to fertilize and water. And something I learned, there was a man who took care of the gated community just down the road, and his name was Woody. Woody's dead, but Woody became a really good friend. And he had years and years and years of plant experience. And he'd told me one time, well, of course, when I first moved here, I was down there all the time asking him questions. What the hell do I do here? Because the climate and everything was so different than Colorado, right? So I was just like, I was flabbergasted how to do things. And Woody was just a wealth of information. I absolutely loved that man. And when Jim got sick, he was an absolute angel to me. He'd be up here helping me mow, fertilize, do all the things that, you know, I needed help with while I was taking care of Jim. But he told me, and I started doing it, and I believe it wholeheartedly. Kathy Arbor can jump in here and tell me what she thinks about the idea. But he told me way back then, and I never did the medium on that, and I don't know if he meant this was specific to Oklahoma or just as a general rule in life. He naturally believed in fertilizing, and he said the thing you have to do is fertilize. Like if I was using Miracle Grow, he said if the container says to use 3 tablespoons in a gallon of water every month, cut that in half and do it twice as often. So you would use 1.5 tablespoons every other week. You know what I'm saying? Cut it in half, do it half as much twice as often. And I swear to God, that worked so good. So I was telling Dee Dee that this summer, is just try that. Do the half as much twice as often and see if you don't get good results. I almost wish I hadn't done that. I really like the way the gradation on that went. Sometimes you just get lucky. So I'm interested to see what Kathy Arbor says about that, because if you've got like African violets and stuff like that, you've got to be fertilizing them and stuff like that. So I'm interested to see what she says. That's what you do? Okay, see, so that's good advice. So whatever your fertilizer recommends for frequency and amount, do it half as much, twice as often, and I think you'll get better results. Especially, I think, with plants in pots, because you're watering your plants so that they don't, I just felt like you were constantly flushing the nutrients out of the dirt, you know. So give your plants a break. And I still to this day do that with my tomatoes. I think that one's going to be a good one too. I'm excited. Looks like it's going to come out pretty good. Like I might be able to make prints out of this. That will make me very, very happy. Okay, this one is really weird. Let's see. Oops, sorry if I just hit the camera with my head. Okay, I think I'll come back in and do the center of that. Let's see, because I need some, I should have wet it first. I didn't watch the Journaling by Fives hop this weekend, so I'm going to have to go back in and go watch some of the ladies, see what they did. That's part of my keep your ass off the internet on the weekend rule. It's working out well. Just to stay away. Alright, let's see what we got going on here. Can't do that one next. That one I'm going to leave, but I can do it coming backwards because the wets won't touch. I hope. I hope. I like that dark green recommendation that you gave me, Kathy. That perylene green is gorgeous. So I like that. Okay, I hope I'm not sorry I'm doing this, but I'm going to put a little bit of yellow in there to spread it out. Okay, what I did there was when I put that yellow in there, it pushed that green back into the areas where I wanted the shadow. So I wasn't sure how that was going to work, but I think it worked out well. So I'm good with that. Thanks, Starla. But I don't use Miracle Grow. It's poison and leaches into groundwater. You just compost. Well, compost is good. I've never heard about Miracle Grow poisoning groundwater. I guess I just always felt like the plants use it. I'm gonna have to read about that. Now Roundup and stuff like that, I definitely know that don't use that because that kills everything. Fish, birds, Yeah, it's not just killing the plant. That kills virtually everything in the world. All right. Now that I've worked all the way around, my original leaves over here are dry again, so I can come back and work with them. I'm really liking the whole leaf thing going on up here. It's looking way cool. Way cool. Now I'm excited. I don't want to get too excited too early because the prints of these could be coming out really good. Now this one, the leaf I'm working on right now, I hadn't done the middle green. And I just wet the wrong area. Oh well, I'll do the middle. All right, I'll leave that one for just a minute. See if there's any highlights that I want to pick up right now. All right, I'm going to hit it with the heat gun because I'm getting into kind of dangerous territory there if I paint too close, so hang on. I'm a little disappointed with my edges, but I'm going to blame that on the paper, not the artist, because that's very convenient. I'm using 6, Donna. And I want to get this close enough so you guys kind of get an idea. All right, that one's good enough now. I like to get the paper wet. That's why I always blot it off on here. I like the paper wet, but I don't want it just soggy. I think I'm going to do this one in the medium green. I might have to come back and do the light or the darker later, but I think I'm going to do it this one. I'm going to put a little bit right down here. Now I'm coming back in with some of the light blue and painting it backwards down into that green, and hopefully I'll get a good mix. Keep your fingers crossed. Yep, I think that worked awesome. Swoot. Okay. Now this one is just pretty much the light blue color, but I guess I'll darken it up just a little bit. I thought I knocked that off the table. That would be bad, bad news. Okay, and I'm going to add a little bit of the light green into the base of it. Try and get more of like a blue-green. Okay, can you guys see that? I'm trying to get it up here close enough. I don't like the way that it's making that harsh line right in there. That helped. Trying to hold it up so you guys can kind of see some of the variation that I see that you guys don't. All right. Trying to keep it from spreading too much, because that's more of just a shadow from the surrounding leaves. And then this one. I'm going to have to get some more dark green out. But this one's really funky because it's just dark green right down there. What size? Oh, okay. I don't necessarily like having to get out more paint, but I guess I'd rather have too little than way too much, because then I feel bad when I wash the plate out that, oh my gosh, look at all the paint I wasted. But okay, so I wet this one right in here. Before I'm done, I will probably go in here with some, like, I never use black, but I may use some of that natural tint to get real dark down where they all join. But I won't do that on stream. I'll let everything dry. Normally when I finish on stream, I set it aside and let it just completely dry for a few hours before I go back and start dinking with it. But I try and give you guys a good idea of, you know, what it's going to look like when it's all said and done. And then the last, well, that one ends up being real dark in here. And that one I didn't water down too much. I went directly from the pan, so now I got it. Tease it out. Okay. Liking it a lot. All right, and I'll put some dark in here. Let me draw myself the line so I don't goof up. Almost done, honey bunch.
I'm not in a hurry.
Okay, couple things. I'm gonna stop right now and quit doing like so much detail on here because you kind of got an idea of what that layout is like and the color scheme. I'm gonna go ahead and do the light green of the stems of the flowers right up in here, so you can see what that's like. And then I'm gonna do the purple real quick, but I will probably only have time to actually see a little bit of that. All right, I had some orange back there I should have painted. Oh well, my bad, my bad. Do a little bit of the purple. All right, I'm gonna put some little bit of red in here because that's not all purple. There's some red in there too. I'm gonna go ahead and do that and then dry it real quick, because otherwise I'm gonna lose my place where I am. Purple, purple. This has some red back in here. And this is kind of obscured back in here because there's no real shape, so it's more just an idea that something's back there, right? All right, let me go ahead and dry that real quick, and then we're going to put the purple in. Yeah, the blue and green leaves are really fun, right? That was why I picked this, because I just thought, oh, that's so pretty. And I don't want to start rushing at this point, you know? I don't think I like that light purple that I picked, you guys. I really don't. I want a red. Yeah, I want a different purple. Maybe I'll use cobalt violet. I'm going to clean it out. Now that I see it, I'm not happy with it. I'm gonna fix it. You can change your mind if you want, but yeah, I think I'm gonna use the cobalt rather than the ultraviolet deep. Yeah, I think I'm gonna use cobalt. And I might even add in, because I want a little bit more red, I might add in some of the Mayan violet and give it more of a little red. I think I'll be happier with that. Let's do it on our cheat sheet and see. Yeah, that'll be better. That will be better. All right. I'm going to go ahead and do the stem because it can just be drying. I didn't make a huge amount of purple, but it should be enough. Now this is really weird that the stem of this is purple. But I like it because it's colorful. I will go back and add in some light on this. I've just found that it probably works better than trying to leave it. I don't like the harsh lines, so I probably will come back in either with some ink or probably not gouache, probably ink. All right, and then I'll go ahead and do the light purple up in here too, and then detail it with the white and the dark. I hope I'm not goofing up. And it's very, very light. By the time I put the dark with it, it's actually going to be the highlight color rather than white up in here. Yeah, I'll detail it now with the dark. Surprising that's already dry. I'll do one side at a time. And after you've been painting as long as I have been today, check your paints because the water could have very well evaporated and you're not going to have the color you thought you had. When you set it all out, you know, do it all out in front like I just did. In fact, I'm going to add some a little bit more darker to it and see. Ew, that might be a little dark. All right, let's give it a go. Okay. Let that dry. I'll go up here and do some of the dark up here. Don't put your hand in the wet paint. Do what I say, not what I do. Going up next to this red orange, I think it was valuable to keep the purple more on the red side, so it doesn't look quite so weird. Is it hard for you guys to see that purple? I imagine it is. Probably just looks like black. Just checking what I got going on here. Oops. If you hear that, I have no clue what Robert's doing down there. I'm not going to go over the other side. That's why I can paint down here, because I'm the two wet areas are not going to touch, so I'm cool doing this. All right. All right, boys and girls. I'm going to finish it offline, but now you've got an idea. This is it without the real dark shadows and the highlights. I haven't done the highlights yet, so thanks, Marie. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way it's shaping up right now. I probably have, let's see, I've spent probably 2 hours on it up until now, and I probably have less than an hour left to go. So, I'll clean up, can show you as I gave it away. I don't know what you're talking about, Dorothy. So anyway, yeah, I'm liking it, and I think when I get the real darks in, up in the, let me see, real quick, I'll get the, I just want to see one of the shadows, because I haven't done the detail, like you can't see where the middle of the flower is or anything, but I do want to see up here, like when I start doing the, ooh, that might be a little way too dark, so let me move some of that out. When you start seeing this real dark down in these recesses, that's kind of when it starts getting really interesting. I'm just doing this one because I want to see when you start seeing the dimension how cool it looks. Now I'm about ready to call it a day, get us something to eat. Alright, there you go. Now you'll start seeing. I'm glad you got here too, Trisha. Thanks, Lena. You need a print? You'll get a print, Elaine. So you guys go have a really fun afternoon, evening, whatever you got cooked up. And we'll see you somewhere around the interwebs. If I don't see you before, I'll definitely see you at Dee Dee's on Wednesday. Or maybe I'll be probably at Kathy's tomorrow. We ended up not having to go to Joplin, so yeah, so I'll be around tomorrow. So I appreciate you guys a whole lot. Be kind to one another. Yeah, I appreciate you guys so much. And I will post a picture on Instagram when I get it done. Maybe this evening, maybe tomorrow. But I've got some shadows left to work on up in here. But it's fairly good. It looks like the original, right? Looks like it's got some dimension and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it, considering I go through life not knowing what the hell I'm doing. Alright, you guys, love you, be kind, do your best, and go create something cool that you love. Alright? I'll talk to you guys later. Adios, amigos.